was going to ask to see a show of hands, but I can't see you guys. So. It's a really, really amazing tool. If you have heard of it, you may have seen the older version of Touch Designer, which was around for about 10 years. And it was kind of a janky, buggy piece of software designed specifically for VJs. But sort of in secret, over the last 6 or 7 years, these guys have been making a new version of Touch Designer, which far surpasses the needs of a VJ. And personally, I think it's one of the most exciting tools that I've ever seen in my life. It's basically an operating system for media and graphics. And I just want to take a couple minutes to show you, I'll just give you a quick 2-minute overview, because even the interface itself is really, really interesting. And we just found out about this tool about, I'd say, 2 years ago, and in that time, it's become our standard platform for all production at Obscura, which is, that's saying a lot, because we have a lot of proprietary tools that we had written in C++, and before we knew about Touch Designer, we had used Unity, we had used processing, we had used MaxMSP, we had used Jitter, we had done straight C++, open frameworks. So all of those different tools we had used in one capacity or another, depending on the given requirements of a project, until we found this tool, and now it's all we use. So I think that's something. So Touch Designer is a node-based environment, and it's also hierarchical. Those are the two sort of defining characteristics of it. So right now I'm at the top level, and we're looking at what's called the network editor, and these are called objects or nodes or containers or operators or whatever you want. So I can use the middle mouse wheel to sort of zoom in and out, and I can actually go inside of this container called Project 1. And if you look up here, I can put the parameters, and it's called container. So I'm going to go inside of here, and you can see I've got a movie in top, and top stands for texture operator. And basically, this is the most basic operator. It allows me to load in a JPEG or a QuickTime movie or MPEG or any kind of file format, raster file format, and any resolution also. And it's procedural and node-based, so the idea is that you wire up inputs to processing objects, and then you have your results. So the default is just the movie in going to the out. It's very simple. So in the texture operators, you have a ton of different features, and most of these are analogous to things you might find in a program like Shake or After Effects. But in Touch Designer, every single one of these operators is completely written to be hardware accelerated. So there's actually GLSL or CUDA code that is written behind these. So if you've got a really good NVIDIA card, you're going to get really, really good performance. So I'm just going to drop a blur operator down and show you that I can blur. It's super fancy. And I'm going to drop down an add operator and run the blur into the first input and my original into the second input. And you can see now that I've got sort of a nice glowing effect. I'm just going to go through a couple of quick operators just so you guys get an idea of how powerful it is. I'm going to put down a new operator called noise. This is one that I use very frequently. And this is, again, you can see here under type, this is a GPU-generated noise. So this is really, really fast. In fact, I can crank it up to like 1024 by 1024. And I'm going to animate the noise now. And this is another really amazing thing about Touch Designer. Every single place in the interface where you see a number, like in these parameter fields where I've got seed and periodicity and things like this, you can actually type fully qualified code into these boxes. And Touch Designer is it is a programming environment, so you have global variables that exist. So one of the first variables that you learn about is the frame number. You can see I've got a play bar down here, and this is the frame that I'm on. I can type in $F anywhere, and it will instantly use that number every single frame. So if I type in $F into one of these transform fields, it's going to animate the noise for me. That's a little intense, so I can divide it by 100, and we get more of a slow noise. I'm going to turn monochrome off so I get some color noise, and I can adjust all these parameters in real time to get the type of noise that I want. And now I'm going to put a displacement operator down. Basically what this will do is modify the position of all the pixels in the first input by the value of the red and green pixels in the second input. And again, I can modify the effect if I want. So right away you can start to see how nice it is to be able to see every single step of the process and be able to go in and in real time modify the different parameters that's affecting what's going on. So these are texture operators, and there's a ton of them, and they're really, really powerful. You can basically do anything you can do in After Effects, sans, you know, like Sapphire plugins and things like that. But the other thing the Touch Designer has, this is the operator menu. I was just looking at tops. That's what all these purple operators are. You've also got what are called SOPs, which stands for Surface Operators. Touch Designer also has a fully featured three-dimensional geometry editing and manipulation pipeline. So I'm going to just show you a couple quick examples. I'm going to put a torus down. This is a blue box now. Notice instead of this color we're looking at here, which is sort of a darker blue. And torus is a donut. And I can put it in wireframe mode. I can rotate it around. I can look at the point numbers, just like all the features that you would expect to have in a program like Maya or 3D Studio. You can look at the normals. And so the same concept exists in the surface operators, where every step of the way you can see exactly what's happening. So similarly, I'm going to put a noise operator down, kind of a cheap gag. And what this does is it transforms the positions of each vertice along the surface normal. And just like in the texture operator, I can adjust the periodicity. And if I look at the transform, by default, they've got $T in the transform field for the noise generator, which stands for time. If I take that out, it doesn't move at all. If I put $F in, again, it moves really crazy. I can put $F 100 and slow it down. And I'm just going to show you real quick a couple other features. So this operator actually only moves the vertices themselves. It doesn't actually change the surface normals, doesn't recalculate that. So Touch gives us another operator called facet, which I can use to compute normals. So I don't know if you can tell that the shading is now correct. And now that we have like kind of a cool, you know, basically rave graphic, we can put the material on it, give it something else. So I can actually take this displacement image, and now you can see there's an out node here, because that's what this out does. It allows me to control the relationship between all the objects in the hierarchy. So I'm going to put a null here so we can see it, and put down a basic Phong material. And now I can just drag this texture operator into one of the parameters for my material, and instantly I've got I'm using that as a reflection map. And then I can reference this material in the parameter of this material operator and apply this to my noise torus. So, you know, I mean, these are really simple gags. I just wanted to give you a general understanding of what the program workflow is like.